Hello and welcome to yet another engaging episode of In Conversation. My name is Bongani Mncube, and today I'm joined by community engagement leaders from all our 4 campuses. From Auckland Park Kingsway campus, we are joined by Miss Muchachi, and from Dorfontein campus, we are joined by Andy. From the APB campus, we are joined by Miss Lebogang, and from the Soweto campus, we are joined by Tsepo. Well, guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us today.
It is quite a pleasure with the work that you guys have been doing. But firstly, I think, Lebo, I would start with you.
Yes.
How would you explain community engagement from a university perspective and its relevance?
Community engagement from a university perspective serves as the third core pillar and is very integral in terms of how we communicate with faculties, divisions, and departments. So from a UJ perspective, community engagement is embedded in our vision of the university. And this is where we see faculties, where we see divisions, where we see departments having different community engagement projects, such as service learning, community-based research, and organized outreach. But I must say, in addition to that, it is a great platform for our staff and students to participate in active citizenship. We see ourselves as a solution in the University of Johannesburg, and so we really pride ourselves in having societal impact, whether it's issues of social justice, education, socioeconomic issues. But this is where we have an opportunity to build a greater nation for our country.
Interesting. And that is very powerful work. That is amazing work that you guys are doing. And my follow-up question would be to Muchachi in terms of who are the key stakeholders? Who are the people participating in this amazing work that you guys are doing?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Would you like to know?
Yes, definitely.
Our key stakeholders, is everyone. It is our partners. It is the people with lived experiences.
Yes.
It is our co-creators of this big, giant thing called community engagement. Yeah. Stakeholders refer to everybody and everyone that gets to affect and can be affected by our engagement. Yes. They are people who have interest, who have influence, or can be influenced by our engagement. So if I must list them,
yes,
please. Which I'm gonna do, is it would be the staff and employees of the universities. Yes. It would be the students. It would be the community-based organizations, the government departments, the municipalities, the civic organizations, everybody that can be affected by our engagement. So they capture our outputs and outcomes, and they measure and influence our relevance, our impact and sustainabilities in the initiatives that we do carry out in the CE unit. Thank you.
Just also following up from that, how does your unit specifically promote community engagement internally, particularly from your students, from the faculty and staff?
With faculties, we have CE faculty coordinators at faculty and at college level. And they coordinate CE activities, and they do reporting. They report to the dean, they report to colleagues, they manage, collate all the activities that the lecturers undertake under community engagement. And these people, they also then biannually represent the faculties at the community engagement board meeting to continue with the reporting, to give feedback. So it's a two-way street. And then we have, again, this reporting from faculty. It's a true testament as the involvement, the level of involvement that the UJ has in community engagement and communities as a whole. It testifies that it happens through a broader scale. You have the faculties. And then you have students. Through students, it's a bigger landscape of coverage. Because even in our sign-up forms, we have a question of where do you come from, where you come from. It's that all the undertakings that you shall have been involved with us in community engagement, you can go and execute them from where you come from. And we've got students from all walks of life. We've got international students, we've got students from the whole of South Africa. So really community engagement is at the backbone of how to transform communities, of how to effect change, of how to have a UJ graduate that really is an active citizen of this country.
Powerful. And I'm sensing that the faculty is of paramount importance in all this. And Andy, I'd like to bring you in on this. What would you say is the role of the faculties in community work, and how does it work actually?
Following from where Lebu and Seleng has left off, like Lebu said, that we are the third core pillar of the university. Community engagement is a very important unit in the university, because what we are doing, we're bringing the university and the community together. And we are also the hub of skills and knowledge. And we educate communities, for example, our stakeholders, in our CBO forum meeting, with educating them on skills and knowledge and things like that. Also, I would like to say what's very important. Yes, we are the third core pillar of the university, like Lebu has said, but also we are governed by the university CE policy, which faculties, stakeholders, and CBOs must follow. So we have a policy in place which they must adhere to. So let's look at the faculties. How does faculties play a role in CE? Faculties are the driving force to capacity building, knowledge, and skills. That's what they do. So when we look at the faculties, so remember our students are placed in faculty. That's why we have a database. When students do register, when we are doing the recruitment program, then we find that the students, they are coming from different faculties, and we ask them which faculty you belong to. So when we look at the field of the studies, so that we can place them in the right places. So we are the faculties also have their own projects as well that they run. For example, if you look at the health science faculty, the medicals, the students that are in the health science faculty, we place them with the hospitals. And if you look at CE unit, we're dealing with partnerships. We are establishing partnerships with different stakeholders, for example, the City of Johannesburg, the government departments, and all those things. So we are working in collaboration with them. So when the students don't get placement, so we place them in, for example, if you look at now, we work with the 4 provincial hospitals. So the students need to go in at the university, they're getting the theory part of the studies. But the experiential learning CE unit places them in various stakeholders where they can go and get experiential learning. For example, we can work with the 4 provincial hospital, the students go gain experiential learning there. Then we look at the engineering students. So we place engineering students with the City of Johannesburg in there's various departments. For example, we look at the environmental health, which is a big issue at this moment in this country. So we had the environmental health students going out into the field, educating vendors, educating the street people about the littering of health hazardness. So they go and educate them, and we work closely with Pick It Up. We do the city cleanup, which is it's a very sustainable project. And CE has won the prestigious award in regard to that as well. So we do that. And then we look at, for example, and we are doing we're developing 3 communities at this moment in Limpopo, which is called the Gokwani Project. And when we went in, it's the Vice Chancellor's project. Various faculties are involved, and community engagement is involved because we deal with communities. So when we went there, we found that there was no water, there was no electricity, the education, there was no literacy programs, and we find that there were no creches. And so CE, in collaboration with Faculty of Engineering, we went went up then, we dug boreholes, we put electricity, and we went to the school. The school had no network. We did network. And we also built in creches because children there were getting education once in a week on a Wednesday for 3 hours under a tree. So community engagement in partnership with Faculty of Education, we built library. We got containers, we built libraries, and the whole 4 campuses, the whole 4 CE specialists, we got in donation of books, which we built libraries in those. So that was a big project that we did. Another big project and another big problem in this country is water purification. And we're working with the Faculty of Engineering again, Health Sciences again, the water purification, where we're going out. Students went to Eastern Cape and they did the water purification. They were doing the water purification research program in Hillbrow, the city center, in various rural areas. It's another big project where students are involved. So it's more experiential learning, if you look at. Then the major project that we are doing at the moment is the Siafunda project, which is it was called the Community Engagement Tutoring Program, where we are going to schools that are underperforming. So we have a partnership with the Department of Education, and they give us the school that are, there's a lot of schools throughout Soweto, Deep Sloot, Alexandra, Tembisa, the CBD. So the 4 campuses the 4 specialists are involved in this program. So we are busy with the Siafunda program in schools, where we send about 200 to 300 learners in a weekend going out and helping out into the underperforming schools. Right? And then we also look at the education faculty as well, where teachers are still not fully qualified. For example, we have principal who have the M3 course. We have principal that don't even have B.Ed honors degree. And the education department is working together with the UJCE unit and the university is working in collaboration with the education department, working with the schools, trying to upgrade the qualifications of the teachers for them to get promotion. And remember, we're in 4IR. So they need to know about 4IR as well. Remember, some of us are principals are elderly people. So we are promoting as well. Lebu will tell you more about the humanities department, where she's really involved with the WIL students, and she will come on board. So, the UJCE creates a platform for the faculties and to sign partnerships. So what happens when we have CBO signing partnerships with us? So we look at the needs of the CBOs and we place them under certain faculties where they can get wisdom, knowledge, skills, whatever they need. That's how we work. I can go on, but let me give it on to my...
Before we move to level, the CPOs, what are CPOs?
The CBOs, okay, they are our stakeholder forums. So they sign partnership. For example, with the government sectors, an MOU signed. With the CBOs, and the NGOs and the faith-based organization, they sign a partnership with us. So we do skills development with them. We also have them with volunteers that go out on a weekly basis to assist this CBOs and NGOs.
Awesome. Lebo, can you also add about the humanities projects that you guys are having?
So, as my colleagues have indicated, community engagements collaborate with all faculties. But with Faculty of Humanities currently, we have been helping the Department of Strategic Communications in terms of placing their students for work-integrated learning. Youth unemployment stats in our country is shocking, and as community engagement, we held hands with the faculty to say that we have the capacity, we have the resources and the connections to expose our students to work readiness programs. And so in second semester, we have most of the students from strategic communications doing their final year placed in community engagement unit. And these students have to generate 400 hours into different categories that entails their academic course. And from that experience, our students then compiles a work integrated learning portfolio, which is a prerequisite before their graduation. Another thing that we love with Faculty of Humanities is that you will see students from Soweto, from APK, also from Department of Social Work, Community Development. They are also placed in different community-based organizations that are in partnership with our unit. And this is where our students have the opportunity now to put theory into practice. During COVID, there was a high demand of assistance for children from a social development perspective. Kids were faced with psychosocial issues. Children in our country, there has been a recent report that kids cannot read for meaning. And this is where you see our students from different faculties, even education, engineering, College of Business Economics, are involved in after-school programs. We are saying as community engagement and faculties, let us help the future generation in a sustainable way. I must add, Bongani, another great project of CE and Department of IT in the university is that we have digital literacy education projects. Just in Banting Road, we have Frederdorp, Fetus community, faced with a lot of issues, human trafficking, unemployment, food security issues. But the children that are in the community-based organization placed with us, we bring them to the university every Thursday and they experience just a simple basic computer skills. And we're talking about children from primary schools to high schools. And this is where UJ is having a 4IR societal impact project that is actually in need. You look at the curriculum of the country, coding has been introduced. And all 4 campuses, we have tutoring projects, which has been renamed Siafunda. Our students are going to different communities, helping learners with coding. Sometimes we have hackathon boot camps in partnership with faculties because we are saying as community engagement, we understand the needs and demands of our country, and our students have the time and they can be a great pillar in their respective villages, especially during recess.
Those are really powerful projects that are empowering the community and uplifting it in a great extent. And I would like to bring in Tsepo for this one. Tsepo, you've been silent for most of the conversation. I'm sure you're like, this man forgot about me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, Tsepo, you are one of the youngest leader in the community engagement unit. Student participation seems to be very important. Why is that so?
Well, I would say that students' participation is actually important because we are a higher education institution that is like a diverse individuals. We pride ourselves with having people from different backgrounds, from different cultures and all that. So that gave us an idea in terms of like the perspective, the knowledge that they have. Our students are placed in all different departments and divisions. So they have a knowledge, different ideas and a different understanding of the knowledge. In terms of their participation, so that gives us actually a greater or multifaceted approach in terms of like solving the challenges that we have in communities. I would say that their participation is actually much more important because it offers different variable ideas in terms of like solving the challenges that we have in communities, as my colleagues have actually articulated in a sense that the projects that we have, as they've mentioned, they are with like different departments, different faculties and divisions. So with that being said, you can actually understand that it actually requires different people from different dynamics and different backgrounds. Their participation, that's when it comes in and it shows a more crucial, important aspect for them to actually share the knowledge that they have. And also with the understanding that with the students that we have students that have like different set of skills. They have different interests. So with the projects that we have, they serve different purposes in different communities. Their importance is actually more highlighted in their participation in the community-based organization and the initiatives that we have.
Just to elaborate on that, how does community work benefit student in terms of the short term or the long term?
Okay. Yes, there's actually quite a lot that students can actually learn and actually can actually benefit. Sorry, as to say that we are a higher education institution where we provide learning. So as we have community-based research, organized outreach, students can actually hone certain skills. We offer skills development programs that look at certain skills, as Ms. Lebachang has actually shared that we have hackathon boot camps that actually provide information technology skills. We understand that we live in the fourth industrial revolution where everyone should be capacitated in terms of like understanding what's happening in the digital world, and also having an understanding of like machine learning, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence. So our students actually, they get to have the educational background of these mentioned technologies that are actually taking place. And what I would actually say as a long-term benefit for them, it's actually an advancement of career in terms of like what they have actually honed within the university can be actually be utilized in outside the academic space when they actually apply for job opportunities, given that we live in a world where it's actually changing. It's a transformational world where you actually require to have like certain skills. Our students, they get to hone those certain skills because given that when they graduate, there's no one who's going to be actually capacitate them in terms of like work readiness, skills development. We offer that by creating partnership with community-based organizations and also taking them to schools to actually gain certain skills. More than anything, we create a unit, or I would say a community of people to actually be willing to participate and also gain educational purposes in terms of like the skills that we see that they're actually of importance need in the communities.
It is indeed a two-way street, just like Buchachi explained there. And I would like to add anything, Lebo.
Yeah, Tepo said something very important. From a short-term perspective, we are seeing a lot of demands from faculties where students are placed with community engagement to do problem-based learning. So the curriculum is linked to community relations or societal impact projects. And another testimony to what Tepo had said, from a long-term perspective, it's the guaranteeing of our students being first preference in the corporate world. Just yesterday, one of the students that did problem-based learning and work-integrated learning with CE shared with me that, look, I never thought that I would have access to the United Nations, and she just got a job there. And her interview was not about her course. It was more about, we see that you participate in the community engagement flagship projects. Share with us your journey of your project within the communities through University of Johannesburg. So it's a great opportunity to see that there's preference for our students in multilateral organizations, but also in advocacy spaces. We're seeing our students having their own NGOs. When they graduate, they come back and say, now I want to be a community-based organization. I want to showcase the great work that I've learned from CE and also be an advocate for social justice, democracy, freedom issues.
Really empowering. That's the word that I'm getting from that. It does empower students in as much as they're doing this community work. They also get to have skills. They get to be empowered and be in positions that they never thought they could be. And still on that, when I'll use deploying, when we're having the students participating in the projects that you guys are having, right? The Sustainable Development Goals are of paramount importance for the institution and globally for societal change, and of which is what community engagement is aiming for. Would you kindly tell us more about how does community engagement align with the Sustainable Development Goals in the UJ perspective?
Look, the issue of the United Nations Sustainable Goals is very complex, but as a country, from a national interest, we have to be collegial, in terms of what the world wants to achieve, and that is a better place. So as community engagement, we are using the Sustainable Development Goals as a framework for our flagship projects. So a practical example is that when a University of Johannesburg student wants to join community engagement to volunteer, they select which SDG they are interested in. And then from there on, we orientate them about the SDGs, the UJ values, and also an asset mapping of what is needed in our communities. We see ourselves as a direct response also to the National Development Plan, which is intertwined in the SDGs for our country. From a city perspective, our students also participate in integrated development plan projects. But I must say that you look at UJ's progress. We are globally ranked SDG goal number 1, no poverty. And just yesterday, myself and our Stileng were with College of Business and Economics with different female CEOs in the country and the continent discussing how the SDGs can play a role in equipping our staff, students, and our communities. So it is very important for our faculties, for our divisions, to also identify their projects linked to that. In conclusion, we have seen a growth of our students interested in the SDG projects. Look at a great example of student affairs as a division. One of their pillars, in addition to culture, sports, academics, is community engagement. And that is a student life experience, So it's quite an amazing way to also conscientize our staff and students that whatever developmental project you do, let it be sustainable. And let it also have an asset-based community development approach. So by the time you exit that project in a certain village, the beneficiaries are equipped to continue to sustain it. And then we continue to plant more positive seeds in other communities or even in other countries.
Interesting. Andy, you wanna
May
add?
I just add to what Lebu is saying, is that every university or every community engagement department in every university is guided by the Sustainable Development Goals, the UN. The UN Sustainable Goals. We are guided by that, and we through those goals we build our guidelines and our policy through the Sustainable Goals. Thank you.
Tsepo, I want to bring you back into the conversation. Now, I want to know about service learning. What is service learning?
So service learning, I would say, Bongs, is actually one of the initiatives that we have, which it serves as one of our core pillars for the university in terms of faculties coming on board in partnership also with CE by creating opportunities for community-based organizations to actually learn. But the most important thing is, as Ms. Lebogang has actually alluded, was to say that we need to have an asset-based we need to do a needs analysis in the community. So in understanding the community challenges, we do like a needs analysis whereby the faculties, they come and then they assess based on what we've actually been presented in terms of the core needs of the communities. So what I would say is that we as community engagement, we serve as a building bridge between the faculties and also the communities, but also we're bringing students on board because we believe in as an institution we should all be carrying each other in terms of creating a societal impact by making sure that with the knowledge that we have, we share it amongst ourselves, we share it with the communities. With that, we understand the core challenges of the community, and we can be able to actually address the challenges that they face in the community.
Yes. And with that incorporation of service learning, what would you say are the benefits for both the students and the communities when you're incorporating service learning?
So just to add on that, Bongs, I would actually say in terms of when we are doing service learning, when we have actually assessed the needs of the community, the most important thing is curriculum integration, whereby we have to integrate what we actually like have assessed in the curriculum of the institution. And also, there's so much that goes on in terms of like the needs assessment that we do. The most important thing that I would say for service learning, it actually offers students a wider perspective and understanding and knowledge in terms of like understanding the core challenges of what happens in communities. By that, I mean, we come from different communities, different backgrounds. Many of our students do not understand what other students are facing, what other communities are facing. So when we go to different communities, you get to have a sense of understanding in terms of like, what are the core challenges of the communities that they are facing? And also, in a student perspective also, I mean, in a community-based perspective, I would say that their benefits would be that as an institution, we come with all the resources. We come with the knowledge. We are willing to share it with you. So we have diverse, wide ideas, perspective in terms of the solutions that we can actually offer. With that, it gives us as I've mentioned before, a multifaceted approach in terms of like tackling the challenges that you have, which serves as like one of the benefits for the community, because when we come there, we understand when you're doing community development, you need to integrate the communities in terms of allowing them to share what actually are their core challenges and all that. When we come with the resources, but based on the challenges that the community have actually articulated and they've actually shared on that.
Powerful, and it actually echoes most of the engagement that we've been having, which is collaboration is of paramount importance in community engagement.
Yeah. What I would say is like one of the most important things is that collaboration is one of the most core elements of community engagement. We collaborate with stakeholders, faculties and divisions, and also community-based organizations. As I would also add on to that is that not only are we looking at internal people, we're actually looking at externally. It shouldn't be only community-based organizations. We have stock files, we have members of the communities. They can actually partner with us as in community engagement by actually going through the UJ website, actually looking for community engagement where there's actually information provided if you're actually looking into that. More than anything, we are willing to see a greater participation from all the staff that we have within the institution, and also our students. Our students are all hands on deck. They are actually one of our biggest contributors to our initiatives that we have within the department, within the faculties and communities. As they've mentioned, we work with local municipalities, national departments. So, yeah.
So,
If I may.
yes, definitely.
Yes, I mean, with collaborations, like Tsepo just said, it is a whole family affair, you know, from your communities to staff to students. And this leads all to us being able to carry out our 3 forms of engagement, which is organized outreach, which is community-based research projects, which is service learning projects, you know. And so these collaborations enable our work. They enable the university presence and engagement and an impactful engagement with communities. I mean, we have the Service Excellence Awards for staff to recognize the CE work that they get to do with these communities through, of course, the vehicle. Everybody's vehicle in here is our students, you know, because no CE project means anything, has its worth, if it also does not have the inclusion of students in it. And then we have communities also that say, help us. And that is why the Siafunda project, when it gets explained extensively, because then we can see the amount of footprint that the university gets to leave. And so collaborations are key, partnerships are key, and they really help us. And that is why the question at the beginning was, what is CE? What is CE? And it is all about the things that we've just mentioned. And, because we come across amazing projects from our faculties. I mean, there's also the water research that was just mentioned, the Gwakani village that was just mentioned, the financial literacies for our communities that have formed gatherings to, such as stokvels, your burial societies, your investment groups. And then we have, there's a project that we came across, I think, guys, if you may please step in, a project that also caught our eye when we were looking at faculty projects, the Barberton. The Barberton Achean surface environments. And that project is from the Faculty of Science, and it is where humanity began. And we had tribal authority, we had the government, we had schools, we had, everybody. It was just a whole, a unit of people undertaking to do good in this world. And then we've got projects that also have caught our eye. Right now, we sit Lebo says a student of ours, is now, got an employment at the UN, and that is the type of student that gets to pass through the doors of community engagement. And that is what we get to do every day we wake up. And then we've got a student that of ours actually also, and we stand in pride behind him, that on this Friday will be having his second competition, spelling bee competition in 5 essay indigenous languages. Is that not amazing? And this has caught the government that's caught the attention of the government, of everybody, the people that need to be. And here we have a UJ student preserving South African languages, indigenous languages. And we have got other projects. I mean, this project that Lebo says about the children that come from Vredendorp, you should see the excitement when they pass the CE office, and they all hold each other hand by hand, and they make a straight line, and they go, "We're going to UJ." And here they are. And it's a lived experience. And that is why when you said who are key stakeholders, they are people with a lived experience. That is what we do.
Yes. And just to follow up on that as well, I'm coming to you, Andy, shortly. As an individual, what does that mean to you? Seeing those children holding hands and smiling because of the work that you have put into that, what does it mean to you as an individual?
It means a lot. It brings satisfaction. It brings hope that we are going. And it takes one of us, each of us, to make a difference to where we want this country to go. I mean, we've got an engineering faculty, the biggest, I think. And don't you aspire that they can just solve our load shedding problems? I live in hope, that it's got to be a UJ student that must come out there and come with a solution.
Yeah.
The future will be brighter without load shedding, actually. Andy,
I just want to add to what you're saying. And, I would like to answer this question. What is CE? CE is, in a nutshell, is volunteerism. And what does volunteerism, how does volunteerism assist our students, and I'm saying through volunteerism, students get internship posts, students get permanent job in various companies. But I think the important question that we left out in this interview is that how does Community Engagement Unit specifically promote community engagement among students, faculty, and staff?
Yes.
How do we promote it? If you look at it, we've got over 100 projects that we're running at the CE office. So how do we promote these projects? How do we get volunteerism? How do we recruit students? And we do this purely through the social media. We look at Facebook. We got a CE Facebook at the moment where Lebu and Sepo is working together, where we showcase the projects that we are doing and and which projects the students are interested in volunteering in. We have 4 road shows in 4 of the campuses. We have road shows, what CE is doing, the project CE is doing, and what is the importance of CE in the University of Johannesburg. We also look at that. Then we use websites. We're using WhatsApp. We are using TikTok, not a TikTok at the moment, but other social media where we are showcasing the projects that CE is doing. And I think that is very important, because how do we get these volunteers? How do we recruit them? How do we go out and market the projects that we are doing? And through roadshows, through websites, through posters in all the residences. That's how we are marketing the projects that we're doing. And that's how we do at this moment, our target is by MSc, which is 22,000 for this year. Or is it 18? I might stand to be corrected.
Big numbers, yeah.
It's big numbers. So how do we recruit? That's our target.
Yes.
How do we recruit them?
Yes.
So by showcasing and by advertising.
By advertising.
Thank you.
Important. Briefly as well, Tepo, let me bring you in. We're about to wrap the show.
Just to add on that, in terms of like how we create visibility, we actually people that are on the ground. We are CE specialists. We are running in between campuses, trying to create visibility so that people can actually see our importance in terms of like the work that we do. I understand there's a much in terms of like community engagement, in terms of like an awareness created, but I also believe there's been much, you understand. But when we are on the ground running, being in all the departments, it creates some sort of a visibility. Just to also add on the initiatives that we actually have quite a lot, and they spark students' interest. And also we have CE Day, which is one of our flagship project that is actually taking place. It's going to be taking place at Johannesburg Business School Park, which is very great. We're actually advocating for faculties to actually come on board to showcase their community engagement initiatives within their departments and divisions, which is a great way for people to actually jump on that. To look at the sustainable development goals and pick one in terms of like, okay, we'd actually love for our project to actually address this issue. As Ms. Mijaji has said, that she would actually love it for one of the engineering students to be actually one of the solution makers for ESCOM. Who knows, maybe on CE Day, someone can be coming out with that kind of a project. So, yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. Also moving, I just want to find out your favorite projects. We've been speaking about projects, collaborations. I want to find out each person's favorite project that you have worked on, particularly this year. I'm going to start with you, Mujaji, because you're next to me.
Okay. With new, they say what? New broom sweeps clean. And we were fortunate to finally get a senior manager. And in the many things that she spoke about, she also, touched one day on pageantry. That does UJ have a Miss UJ? And we said yes. And actually, in each campus, there's a Miss APK, Miss UJ APK, APB. So we're to DFC, like that. And so she said, we need to incorporate this and, improve on it and make it must become also, CE must form part of it. And yes, CE is part of it. And guess who's leading it? Who's in there with them? The Queen, of course.
The Queen is in the house. The Queen is in the house.
So, but on a very serious note, so all the top 10 entrants of a Miss UJ campus, any campus, has got to have a CE project. And because we've now, I'll speak from the ones that we had with APK. So each of them came and they presented on a CE project that should you be a queen, what do you do for CE? But then we don't leave it at that when you become queen, then That's the only project. All top 10 projects. It means we've got 40 projects from that pageantry that we should then be empowering. We put them. One of the sponsors actually will be providing leadership and entrepreneurial skills program to the value of, I think he said 5,000 rand for the Miss APK, UJAPK. So these are opportunities for our students. And for CE, we are proud today to say the winner of a project that stood out of the 10 is a project called Ben Survivors and Thrivers. By a young lady, Zintle. And it's from a personal experience. It is personal to her. And it is how she carries the scars and what she wants and intends to do with that. So it's a wonderful project that we all standing behind. And we have our queen, Kwandi. Yes, Kandiwe. And she also has a CE project. But all shall be revealed.
Yeah. Okay. I also love that project. We shot that. It was an amazing project, and we got to see how the participants actually, the top 10 was very amazing. Well, I'm moving to Andy. We're running out of time. Andy, briefly, shortly, what's your favorite project and why is it that? Why is it your favorite?
I don't really have a favorite project because all the projects are close to my heart. But if you look at it, being an ex-educator, and education is very close to my heart. So we introduced the Siafunda program, which was known as the CE Tutoring Program in 2012, and which was introduced in 2012 by the C unit, and we won the Presidential Golden Award for that project because there were about 32 underperforming schools, and when we introduced the program, and the majority of the schools from 32% went up to 80 and 90% pass rate. So that was for us a great achievement. Then the other project I like to talk about is the environmental sustainability, where the city cleanup would pick it up and the city of Johannesburg, and we won the 365 Men of the Year award twice for that project, environmental sustainability. So we won it in 2019, and in 2022 we won it again, where we competed amongst 365 men. It was a program that was run by the Social Development Department. Yeah, those two projects were they're close to my heart because we need to have we need to keep our country clean for tourism's sake and things like that. So yeah,
and you in big numbers. The change is visible. You there, and we love that. The change is visible and it's humongous. We really appreciate that. Lebo, moving to you. What's your favorite project and why?
Trust me, I'm going to tell you one, because we love all our projects, but the one that is very close to my heart that we recently implemented is the UJCE Single Parents project. And this is where we bring mothers, we bring fathers that are single from different unprivileged communities into the university space. We have partnered even with Center of Ecological Intelligence, where these parents learned, food nexus systems, agro-processing, hydroponic, synpolics, but we simplify it, right? And we are saying there's a need for food security projects in our schools, in our homes, and we're addressing SDG 1, 2, 3, 4. If your mind, your body is not in a good space, you will not concentrate, whether you're a mother or a child. And so that project is run into series. We are in, partnership also with corporate and also NGOs that are in the international space. And it's directly linked to the African Union Aspiration 6. And this is where the Africa that we want, we're saying women, children, youth, also have a voice in this space of inclusivity. Women, children, parents that might be going through neurological issues. We address mental health issues. There's a whole lot of things that project is addressing. And we're saying that, to the communities. Just because there's a single father in a household, it doesn't mean that he does not need your help. Just because there's a single mother in a household, in a community, doesn't mean that she does not need your help. So we're bringing communities together. And I always say about this project is a true reflection of UJ. This African port with 3 legs, teaching and learning as the first leg. Then you have research and service learning. There has been an interest of, research that our academics wants to do with this project. But I must tell you the good news from that project is that one of our colleagues from JBS reached out in the month of August and say, look, I own a company. I want to empower the mothers to understand micro enterprise. And we have seen changes where people are saying, I want to invest in them. I want the ladies to understand cosmetic industry, and then from there on they can have their own spaza shop at home, their own salons, and contribute to economic inclusivity, economic development. So the project is broad, it's growing, and it's what we're also taking pride as community engagement.
It does indeed eradicate most societal challenges. Andy, okay, I'm going to give you a minute.
No, 1 minute.
Yes.
Also, to add to what Lebu is saying, we are empowering the single mothers, and we look at our food security project, which is the farming project, which is another flagship project for CE. And I must mention this here because that project, we have one of the NGOs that has got a big farm at the Sun City Prison, where we have a lot of students going and gaining skills on agriculture. So we have been on CNN, we have been on Morning Live with those projects, and the project is doing fantastic and it's growing by its number. Thank you.
And now you're at UJTV with this project. So for bringing you in, what's your favorite project, why, and your final remarks?
Okay. My favorite project would be the financial literacy with a community-based organization, with burial societies and stockpiles. The reason why I'm saying this is because it's a project that is actually aimed at external people within our communities here in Gauteng and Johannesburg. By that, we actually creating a societal impact in terms of creating for them to actually have to make more informed decisions. We have partnered with the Department of Finance and Investment Management, also in partnership with the SABC Education and Thai Vision Media. Our targets, we actually don't have in terms of the targeted people that we actually look for, but we look for people that are actually willing to make financial decisions, informed rather, making good financial decisions. Also with that, we actually have got a financial institution partner, which is going to be coming on board in terms of we are expanding in the project as it has different phases and different approaches. We are expanding in a broader scale by actually incorporating certain things that we thought actually were not really of important, but then however, projects, they should always be refined and by making sure that you add certain elements that you feel like they can be of beneficials to the community. And with that, in terms of my final remarks, I would say actually come to community engagement where inclusivity and transformation takes place by contributing towards our societal impact. And thank you very much.
You had that one. That's powerful. It's a presidential statement. Level final remarks. You're coming back this way. Save the best for last.
My final remarks is, I know this is a UJ value. Under Ethical Foundation, we speak about Ubuntu. But I would urge you, from your different spaces of influence, just live a life of Ubuntu. Be an everyday leader. Be a change maker. And when you invest in one person, you're investing in your village, you're investing in your country. And if we can live a life through Ubuntu, I believe that the change that we want, we will definitely see it.
Touching. African spirit, the heart of Ubuntu. Andy, final remarks?
My final remarks is that, CE is here to develop communities that are underdeveloped, and we give our students skills, knowledge, wisdom, understanding to go back into the communities, to establish the community, to see how they can better the community and how they become and what volunteerism is all about and how they can unite the community together. They can unite the leaders of the community together with the skills that they have received in community engagement and how they can redevelop and rebuild the communities. Thank you.
Awesome. That's really powerful. It's too much wisdom there.
Thank you.
Moving right along to the Queen, Miss Muchachi, what are your final remarks?
CE is a very interesting space. And it's a space that allows you to be human, allows you to want to do good. And that is the product that we want out there as a university graduate of the university. Somebody that cares, somebody that wants to make a difference. And that is why we keep on we keep on pushing our students. And when we evolve, we want for them to be able to take care of community, but also take care of self. Have something that you can stand on. What we all four of us give to our students is have something at the end of the day, that in between. You've graduated, but you have not gotten to where you're going. So that gap, that is where we want them. Serve the community.
Wow. True power indeed to the community.
Help us capture our outputs. Help us capture our outcomes.
This is very powerful. I feel we're going to need another episode for this conversation. Of course, I've been joined in studio by community engagement leaders, and they did tell us all about community engagement, all the projects that they've been doing, the collaborations that they are having. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we really appreciate you guys coming through.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Any message for Heritage Day?
So, Bongani, our Tata Madiba once said that our rich and varied cultural heritage has a profound power to help build our nation. And to our UJ community that celebrates South African culture, unity in diversity, inclusivity, and also let us preserve the rich heritage that we have in this country. Thank you so much.
Happy
Happy Heritage Day!
Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure that you do catch us on the next episode. We are UJTV on all social media platforms. My name is Bongani Mncube. That's all for today.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.